Hi, my name is Ellen Thompson, and I would love to share with you the approach we came up with for Ellen Thompson's new website. And it's a website that will showcase her portfolio, but it won't be just any typical ordinary portfolio website. And I'd like to go through some of the reasons why we decided to change it up a little bit and do something different. Currently, Ellen's website, she has set up on a Squarespace account, was put together rather quickly, and it just has maybe 10 to 20 examples in each category of paintings, photographs, and some print design, which is her background. And she really needs to get some portfolio website together that she can use for her midterm review as she's in the Interactive Design and Marketing program at MCAT. So the way we decided to approach this, originally we were just going to do something similar to what she had with some edited, some of the images edited, and we thought we would just add some of the examples that she has collected from the IDM program. But as we started looking at it into the problem a little bit further, we realized that it might be better to try to present her in the best way possible. And right now it looks like Ellen's a print designer and she doesn't have much interactive background. So for potential employers, we wanted them to be able to look at this website and not just say, well, yeah, move on to the next person, because it doesn't look like she has a lot of the skills that we could use. When in fact, when we started to look through some of her portfolio images and realized that she actually does have some really strong skills that would transfer very well into an interactive environment. So looking at that content, we worked together to come up with 3 different areas that we felt were important to showcase in this website. And they, instead of dividing it up into, here are her print examples, here are newspaper examples, here are her photographs, here are her paintings, we decided to break it down differently. And so we came up with 3 areas: problem solving, visual communications, and deliverables oriented. And all of these 3 areas, we know that we can find examples from her existing portfolio that would help fit into this and break it up a little bit differently than a traditional portfolio. So as we started talking about this, we realized, so our goals were to create a website that will be appropriate and specific enough for the audiences she is trying to reach, which are potential employers. It was also important that we were going to tell a compelling story about this professional transition that she's making. And then we wanted to demonstrate her strengths, assets, and experience. And more importantly, communicate how her current skills will be transferable in an interactive work environment. And so the way we decided to do that was to set the website up, first of all, on the home page, having an about area. Right off the bat, you say, this is who she is, and to write a really strong, simple, short narrative that gives you kind of an overall view. And then we would scroll down, and below that we would have a case study example. And to show that she's making this transition from print to digital, we thought that her recent work at Handyman Magazine would make a great example of to show where a print product is making the transition into digital. For about a year and a half now, Handyman Magazine has been creating an iPad version. And she's sat in on all these meetings and for the last year as they are making this transition. And we've been learning a lot. She's been learning a lot about how what's different between print and digital. And presenting a case study of this, we thought, would be a really good way on her website to show that she's kind of in the middle of it all. Here's a print designer, and it's switching to digital. So below that, we thought we would also have some examples in the 3 different areas which I mentioned before, and they're the problem solving, visual communications, and deliverables oriented. So the problem solving, working at a newspaper gave her all sorts of opportunities to think about how information is packaged. And so we hope to pull some examples from her print and her newsprint that show how she's done infographics and alternative story formats. And in this way we could demonstrate how her skills might be transferable in doing wireframes or other ways. And we also want to pull in some of the work that she has done in the IDM program that could fit under these different categories for problem solving, and also deliverables. She's met all her deadlines so far. And we want to, the visual communication area we feel is important too. While it doesn't directly seem like art or photography might have a place in interactive, it really does, because her paintings are very spontaneous and creative, but she's also able to be very structured and solve problems. So we really think that the examples that we choose should highlight this. Some of the features about for this project, we decided there's not a lot of time to put it together or a huge budget, and it really isn't necessary for what we need to do for this. We decided that rather than start from scratch, we would use a content management system. And she's used Squarespace in the past and already has an account set up, so it seemed like a logical way to approach this. It has some great features, additional features that we'd like to take advantage of. But one of the main things is that it will be easy for her to switch out and add content as needed. And it's a pretty easy to use content management system that doesn't require a lot of knowledge, and it's fairly intuitive. So the time that it will take to develop it won't be very long. Most of the time that we've worked into our budget will have to do with the content strategy and writing, which will be really important for this. And the brand identity and design will also be important, because since she is a graphic designer, we do want to make sure that the site is beautifully designed. But one of her goals is to be maybe become a user experience designer. So our emphasis won't necessarily be on the content of design, but a narrative to kind of see why all of these various skills and background would be important for being a user experience designer. So the hour breakdown that we have come up with is about 88 hours total, and that includes about 7 hours for feature development, user experience architecture 4 hours, content, strategy, and writing 40 hours, brand identity and design 8 hours, production 5 hours, and website testing 4 hours. So far we've already put about 20 hours into the project leadership and management. So this is her plan, and we think that it's a pretty solid plan. And some of the assumptions that we'll be making is that because there's already a website and account set up, she will be responsible for editing, replacing, and adding new content to fit the new goals. It's also a work in process, and the content could change a little bit as it becomes more clear what we need to showcase exactly for this new audience. No code will need to be written, but maybe a few possible modifications to the content management system could be expected. So it will also be important that we choose a template that Squarespace has that will help us to design it in the way that we think will be best. So that is my presentation. Thanks for listening.